Jimmy John's, America's #1 sandwich delivery, fast Ed speaking. I'm on my way.
I'm in the backyard here, Ed. Wow, you are fast.
Yes, sir, freaky fast and freaky good. But I gotta say, I've never delivered to a dude in a doghouse.
Well, I'm definitely in the doghouse.
I thought in the doghouse was just an expression, a figure of speech.
Well, the doghouse is a very real place.
How long are you condemned to your canine quarters?
Too soon to tell, but on the bright
The
side...
doghouse has a bright side.
Yeah, the wife can't throw a lamp this far.
I guess she's been working out.
Order Jimmy John's sandwich delivery today. Jimmy John's. Freaky fast. Freaky fresh.
Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to the No More Broken Pieces podcast. Here tonight, Saturday night, we are live. As you can tell, I come out of the gate excited. Excited about what God is doing. Excited about what Apostle Katrina and Vanessa Canteberry have to share with us tonight. Just plain old, O-L-E, excited. I tell you, that song that you just heard, I don't even remember. It's so old. I don't remember the year that I recorded it, but nevertheless, I had to stop it right there. I don't know how you're going to do what you're going to do for me, but I know, Lord, that you're going to do it. Is anybody else in that place tonight? It doesn't matter what I see. It doesn't matter what I feel. It does not matter what's going on. I know that God is coming through for me. And I hope you feel that excitement in the air. We're getting ready for Apostle Katrina to come on with more love nuggets with Marriage is Beautiful. And I'm sure that weddings are going to come. Please let us know if you've gotten engaged, if you're getting married, and this ministry is blessing you. At this time, we're bringing on the entrepreneur, the apostle, the mighty writer, author. She's just a trailblazer. Right now, I bring to you Apostle Katrina Garrett. Good evening, Apostle. How are you?
Good evening. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Minister Brown?
I'm doing good, doing good.
Good. Awesome. God is good. I welcome everyone. As she said, we are excited about what God is doing. We're blessed. We are on fire for the Lord, and God is just doing great and mighty things through all of us. Embrace this season that you're in, because I'm telling you, God is getting ready to release supernatural blessings. And so we're just anticipating and expecting for God to just be who he is. And his promises are yes and amen. So tonight I want to share with all of you, of course, you know, I read a quote. And I found something a little different that I'm going to read and kind of expound on for a few seconds. This is what I found, of course, you know, on Google. I'll go on there and pray and ask the Lord to lead me to a quote, and then I pretty much give those love nuggets through that. So I found one. It almost looks like a little business card, but it has a quote for the husband and the wife. So I'm going to read it. As a husband, I will love, lead, and provide. And then it has the scriptures, Ephesians 5:25-29, 1 Corinthians 11:13, and 1 Timothy 5:8. And then it says, as a wife, I will help, manage, and love. And then it gives the scriptures, Genesis 2:18, 21:22, 1 Timothy 5:14, and Titus 2:4. And on the bottom of it, it says, two are better than one, Ecclesiastes 4:9. So I'm going to talk just briefly, ladies, on the nugget of us as being a wife. As you know, the Word of God tells us that the Lord created us to make us their helpmate. And one thing I learned, ladies, as being a wife is I am at a point in my life now where my husband has allowed me to come off my job. And because my job has become very stressful, and with us having a ministry and us trying to do our businesses, I'm a woman of many hats. And I told my husband that I can't wear all these hats anymore. It's wearing me down. And so I asked my husband, could I come home? And I waited until my husband said yes. And according to my husband, he said, well, when all the children move out, you can come home. So all the boys moved out. So this week will be my last week working. So I will now become a housewife. Under the conditions, my husband told me, I said, well, I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to do what I need to do as a wife because I'm going to help you. Well, my husband needs help with the ministry because he is the provider of the home. So there'll be some things I'll be doing. I'll be able to do a lot more to help. And I'll be able to manage our home. I'll be able to manage everything. He'll come home to a clean house. I kept my house clean even when I worked, and it warmed me out. But I did it. The thing that I lacked is I did lack in cooking. So I told my husband, you'll come home not only to pine, salt, and bleach, but you'll come home to some baked chicken in the oven and some green beans and so forth. Then I'll get my husband back healthy and back eating like we used to. And then I told him, of course, I'm going to love him unconditionally, which I do. But I'm going to show him the love because as the wife, that is what I'm called to do. So my husband said, well, not only will I allow you to come home when the boys move out, but there's one more condition. And I said, what's that? He said, you got to feed me grapes. I said, honey, I'll feed you grapes, okay? Just to holler grape, and I'm right there. Grapes? That's in the background. Ignore him. But I can't give you no grapes right now. I'm on the phone. But anyway, ladies, I'm here to say I am so excited and I'm so happy because me and my husband have struggled in our marriage. We struggled financially, we struggled emotionally, physically, you named it. And I was thinking even today, reflecting on, I'm trusting God in our finances because God has blessed my husband with a good job, and he is able to provide. And I am so excited, ladies, that I married a man that is doing just what I read. He's loving, and he's leading, and he provides. And my husband is the head of that ministry. Both of us walk as apostles, ladies, but just as Minister Ramonda has spoken on times past, I don't do anything unless I ask my husband. Even in this, ladies, when I shop, and some of y'all probably say, no, that's not true. Yes, it is true. You can ask my husband. If I want to buy something expensive, like a purse or something that costs, I don't just go and buy it, ladies. I ask my husband. Even when I work, I say, honey, I'd like to buy this purse next week or next month or so. I would always plan ahead. Because one of the things the Lord taught me as being a wife is he taught me how to discipline myself. When we first got married, I used to spend my husband's check before he got it. He can tell you that. By the time we got paid, he would say, how much do I need to put in the account? And I said, all of it. He used to be like, for what? Because I already spent it. And the Lord took me through so much of our finances because he had to teach me how to manage our home and our finances. Now, ladies, I don't shop like I used to. God prepared me for today because now that we're all going to be on one income and we're building our businesses and we know that God's going to bless it, we still have to work and build it. And until then, I have to learn how to be, self-disciplined. As a wife, I will what? Help, manage, and love. So me being a wife, I'm helping my husband by not going out and overspending money because now he is going to be the breadwinner, winner of the home. So I had to learn that is what being a wife is all about. Sometimes, ladies, we love to holler, I work and I got my own check and I got my own thing. But, even with me and my husband, with our finances, even with my money, I would tell my husband what I do. My husband still paid most of the bills, but I put most of my money in the bank and I had my bills I had to pay too. But I would not go out and just spend splurge like that without consulting my husband. I've always been like that with him when the Lord dealt with us and how to make our marriage better because in times past, one of our problems in marriage was me overspending. And that's in any marriage. Ladies, sometimes I walk around, they'll tell you in church, my toenails be peeling off. But when I want to go get my toes done, I'll ask my husband, is it okay? I'm going to get my toes done today. And I just don't go out and do it. Why? Because we have responsibilities. We have a ministry. Our tithes come first. We have a ministry, and then we have our home. And then my luxuries come after that. And so one of the things I want to tell you as a wife, it is so important for us to be a helpmate to our husbands. And the main thing in helping them is, ladies, if you see things in your marriage that needs adjustment, sometimes you have to examine ourselves and see what are we doing to help them. Because sometimes we spend so much time complaining and badgering them and tearing them down. Trust me, I used to be like that, tearing them down, saying you need to do this, you need to do that. We're not looking at the things that we need to do to change our marriage. And when a husband sees that you are helping him and you're standing behind him and you're managing your home, managing our home is cleaning and taking care of children if you have children and doing those things. And sometimes you might be in a position where you might not be able to do all those things, but what you do like I did. I worked what I could. Okay, me cooking was the thing I liked then. But I did keep the house cleaned up, and I did keep the church. We keep the church, clean, and I clean the church and do things to help him out. And so I learned as being a faithful wife to my husband. Now that I am able to stay home, I am so grateful. I am so thankful because I can go back to that secret place. I can get back in the presence of God. I can spend more time with God, and so therefore I owe that to my husband, to be a good wife and to help him and to manage and to love on him. When he comes home for a hard day from work, I will be there at the door waiting, smiling, with his dinner, his plate on the table. And if he say feed him grapes, I will feed him grapes because I am thankful that God chose him to love me, to lead in our home, and to be a provider. So with that, you got to understand, two are better than one. If you notice how I read that quote, you see how, and I didn't go into the scriptures because I don't have that much time, but I'm pretty sure Minister Ramonda is going to post on her wall what I quoted. Go back, get that, read those scriptures, study that. Study what I just spoke on tonight. And ladies, if you're single, get prepared. You do just like Esther did. Prepare yourself for your king. Go ahead and take these nuggets that we're giving you on this broadcast, because as you get prepared, the husband that the Lord will have for you will be a blessed man, and I promise you, you will be a blessed woman. Because if you do these things and you serve him, and you be a wife that's loving, helping, and managing him, I promise you, there's nothing that he won't do for you. Amen. With that note, be blessed.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Apostle, for those love nuggets. And as I tell y'all each week almost, you never know what you're going to get with my apostles. They are just they're comedians. They are, but they love each other. They love the Lord, and they're really showing by example what it takes to have a godly wife, to stick together and a godly husband during tough times, and now when divorce is just so, it's just so popular. At this time, before I introduce the woman of the hour, I would like to put in my little shameless plug. As many of you know, my son, who is 9 years old, known to us as Jeremiah the Bishop Moore, has written and published his first book, My Family of Miracles. And I'm asking that if you would purchase that book, even if it's for someone else, purchase the book. You can reach me at 850-596-8080 to get the book, or you can go on Amazon. Nevertheless, My Family of Miracles, his life through his perspective and all the things that these children had to go through to be where they are. It's a tearjerker. It is inspiration. It's a motivation, and God is using him in a way that is just amazing already, and the book hasn't even been out, I think barely a month, if that, I don't know. But nevertheless, get that book, share it with someone, motivate. We want children to know that they can do anything. They don't have to wait till they get older, that they just need someone to believe in them and to help push them to destiny. So again, My Family of Miracles by Jeremiah Moore, also known as the Bishop. Thank you so much. At this time, we're getting ready to bring her on. When I tell you she is a breath of fresh air, this woman captivated my attention, I guess, the moment that I got on the line with her. She has taken what could have made her a bitter woman, what could have made her an angry woman, what could have made her a woman who just sit down and let life beat her up. She has taken that and used that energy to propel through life. She dances to her own tune because she works hard and makes it happen. She had statistics stacked against her, telling her what she would not be, but she chose not to listen. Vanessa Canteberry is one in a million. I'm telling you, what she's getting ready to tell you will motivate you, inspire you, poke you, provoke you to get in the game, that you have some say in what happens in your life, and don't let your obstacles and circumstances define you or stop you. Check out our website, www.inspiredbyvanessa.com, because I tell you, you will be inspired by this young lady. At this time, we're going to bring her right on, Vanessa Canteberry. Good evening. How are you?
Oh, wow. That was like absolutely amazing. Thank you. I am blessed. I am so blessed to be able to share, just a snippet of my journey, to be able to inspire someone else, to let them know that it is possible. So I thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm telling you, it's amazing. Thank you for agreeing and just for being so open and honest. So we're going to jump right in here and ask that first question, which is, who is Vanessa Canteberry and what is going on in your world right now?
Oh, my goodness, in my world. Whoa. I guess you got to put your seatbelts on for this one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, Vanessa Canteberry is a woman of God, number one, who experienced so much trials and tribulations in her upbringing, so much dysfunctional, so much bitterness, so much hatred, so much in her life. And she took a stand so she could be able to not allow her children to experience the things that she experienced. Even though she was a teen mom at the tender age of 16, she was just determined to be able to make a difference in some type of way, shape, form, or fashion. She was the woman that nobody believed in, very little. Even in your family, your close family, nobody believed in. The doors was closed. So much negative was poured into her versus anything positive, and versus pushing her to be able to be her best self. She was more pulled down to be able to fall beneath with everybody else. She is a woman who stood for the betterment of her self-worth. She was the woman who, even though doors was closed, she knew that there is going to be that one door that opened eventually. She's that woman who did not allow her situation to be able to get the best of her and keep her there. That's me. I'm a mom. I'm a single mom of three young adults now, and I'm a grandparent. I have two grandbabies. And when I look over my life, I just say, wow, I'm just in awe of what God has done. And I have learned to accept the fact that I had to take those hits so my children don't have to experience the beatings time and time again through this thing called unnecessary hardship. And so that's me in a nutshell. But more so now, I took those things and I worked in corporate America for 20 years, and I just did what I had to do, but I was living check to check. I was broke on so many levels. It didn't make any sense how broke I was, but I made a way. And then it was that point in my life where the doors finally closed on me in 2011, and I never turned back to corporate America, and I had to accept the fact that God said, I got something for you. And oftentimes we run from it. And so here I am. I'm a full-time entrepreneur working for myself from home. I am a speaker. I'm a best-selling author. I just published two books this year that both went best-selling. And then I'm co-hosting on the radio with my dear friend, Dr. Finch. And we also on podcasts on Changing Minds Online podcast. My goodness, I'm a mindset coach. Jesus. And all of these things have taken place in the past 3.5 years. And so it's coming from where I was did not determine my destiny. And once I found my purpose, and it took for those doors for corporate America closed in order for me to be able to find my purpose, to be able to be here to share my story with you. So in a nutshell, that's me.
Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So you started out telling us just a little bit, because we're going to paint a picture here, telling us just a little bit about some of the things you had to overcome. When you were young and those things were being said, I mean, what was it that made you first? Because you got a believer, you can't do anything. So what was it? Was there something inside of you? Was it a feeling, or was it what kept you believing that one day you could possibly get through all this and turn around and make something, great out of those bad situations?
Well, it's this couple. My children's godparents to this day, and it was this program that it was called I Have a Dream program, and what it was basically coming to the in the low poverty areas just to be able to give the children hope, to be able to give them access to tutoring, to be able to get counseling, to be able to celebrate their success, to be able to help with homework, whatever the case may be. It was just to be able to give these children the tools and the tips that they need so they can know that they don't have to stay here. There's more than, what I'm saying, here. You could go to high school, you could go to college, you could be somebody. And that program, I was in starting age of seventh grade. I was in 7th grade when I came into this program. And even though my mom pulled me out of this program because we had relocated, so I no longer be in that school, they still stayed connected. You know what I mean? And so with them still staying connected, it was like that was my positive influence in my life to still show me that they won't abandon me no matter where I move to, no matter if I wasn't involved in the everyday activities. They still did not abandon me. They was consistent to be able to be involved in, making sure that my schoolwork is okay, making sure that if I needed anything that they were there, to pick up the phone if I ever called, not being judgmental or anything like that, but just to be that vital source that I needed in my life. And so with that, them pouring into me so much at such a tender age, it was necessary, right? And sometimes we don't understand it, but all it takes is that one person to come into your life to be able to give you something that you need and that you didn't even know that you need, but to be able to look back on it and say, dang, I'm appreciative of that. And so so to this day, when I finally wrote my book, I dedicated a portion of it to them, and it was, it was like touching, because it was like, you just don't understand that you played a huge part in my life. You scooped me up when I was scoop-less. You know what I mean? You were there to be my motivator when I didn't even know what motivation means. You know what I mean? You were there to be able to just be there and show up and be consistent when everybody else abandoned me. You was there. And so it was very, very important to be able to take those tips and those tools that they have taught me along the way, to be able to say, you know what, I know I have something in me. I may not know when, where, or how, but I know it's going to be possible because it's going to do something in me. I know that it's going to get better if I just stick with it. And so that's what I did. I just continued to stick with it no matter how much hardship that I experienced. I just continued on moving. That's the thing. Sometimes we just stop because we feel that things didn't happen on our time, and it's not on our time, it's on God's time. And so when those things continued to happen, I just kept making and just moving. You have to climb that, like you climb that corporate ladder. I am just climbing that ladder to be able to come out of this poverty mindset. I'm climbing the ladder to not to take my children to the bitterness and the hurt that I experienced. I'm climbing this ladder so I know that they can look back and say, their mama kept going, no matter if she was a teenage mom. You know what I mean? No where she come from, she kept continuing to climb. And so it's still something little to me, but really in actuality it was something huge. And so here I am today to be able to speak it to you. And now so many people reach out to me in a bigger way that it just blows my mind, but you just never know who that one person may be. So who am I not to be able to pass that on to the next person? All it does is just take one, just to come from your soul to be able to pour to another soul, to be able to help that soul support to the next soul. And so here I am. That's me.
Yes. Wow.
And, yeah.
So get ready.
Oh. Yeah, so that's who I am. And so when they finally, my daughter had posted a picture of me when my book first came out, and my kids never read the book all the way through. They just knew I was getting to this book and it's going to finally come out. And my daughter, she finally read the book and she posted it up on social media, and it went crazy, right? And it was weird because I lost contact with him. And so I was like, dang, this is crazy. Well, his wife wound up contacting my daughter. And she was like, oh, my gosh, she had posted her number and everything else and got the book. And she was like, oh, my God. And so she, it was just amazing just to hear her feedback on this book. And it was just like, wow.
Wow.
You just never know. But you always never forget where you come from. You never forget those that was always there. You never forget those people. Even those people that should have been there, you always remember, you know what, you played your vital part as well. You may not been that person that you should have been, but you played your part. And your part, take it. But at the same time, I take what was needed and I just get rid of the rest of it. And so everybody got to play their position. It all depends on what position that you want to play. What do you want to be remembered as? What do you want people to come back on and say, dang, I remember that person. She was a powerful force. She poured it to me. She had a genuine soul. She loved me because she loved me for who I am and not from where I come from. And so, I mean, we got to do it. We have to. Everybody have a voice. Don't be voiceless. Use your voice.
Yes. That is amazing. You just hit on something. You said climbing the ladder, and you mentioned the poverty mindset. I want you to just tell me, was this easy for you? Was it hard? Was it something that you had to draw from within? I mean, how did you learn? How did you keep going? Because I know personally that can be so difficult because it's almost like you think you're out and you find yourself there. So how did you totally get free of the fact that you don't have to be impoverished, that, life can get better and stay that way?
Well, I look at it as this: are you willing to go deep and realize the things that you haven't dealt with? You know what I mean? Sometimes we have so much stuff that we have not dealt with that keeps us there in that poverty mindset. We want to be able to drag those childhood friends with us to the finish line. We want to wait until our family will support us in going to this next level in our life. And how can you take people who don't want nothing for themselves? What makes you think they're going to want something for you? So you have to make a decision for you. Are you making the decision for them? You want them to be successful? Sometimes you're just going to have to be that leader and allow the leader to lead from the front, because leaders don't lead from the back. They lead from the front. So you have to take that stand, and you're going to have to be willing to understand that you're going to have to take some lashes. You're going to have to take some people hating on you. You're going to have to take some people looking down on you, rolling their eyes on you, backstabbing you in your back and in your front. You're going to have to be willing to that. But if it's worth all of that so you don't have to look like them years from now, then I'd rather take those hits, and that's what I've done. I took those hits. So now when I look back at my life and I see my children and now my grandchildren, I took that chance to be able to break that cycle, but I have to be able to shift my mindset so I don't stay what I've seen all my life. We can't pick and choose our family, but we can make a decision in our own life to say, I no longer want this. And I'm willing to be able to do the work, to be able to do more for myself so I can be able to be beneficial to somebody else. And so oftentimes I think, and this is, we need to really go there, because I tell people all the time, we limit ourselves so much, right? So We only say, and I only speak about what I've experienced and what I've done, right? We limit ourselves and say, you know what, I only want to be able to be in this position. But you allowed yourself to stay in that box. So as I was administrative in the corporate America for 20 years, I stayed in that administrative field. That's it.
Yes.
So I limit myself and stayed because this is my experience. I did not allow myself to stretch beyond that because, why? I was comfortable in this, right? And so if I want to be able to have more, I have to be able to stretch myself. I have to allow myself to be uncomfortable so I can get to the point to be comfortable. But oftentimes we don't do that. We're afraid to do that. And that's one of the things that I said. Last year, leaving out 2015, I said, somebody said, what's one of the things that you're expecting in the new year? I said, I'm expecting God to make me uncomfortable. And they was like, what? I said, yes, I'm expecting to make me uncomfortable, because if he's making me uncomfortable, then that means I know I'm growing. I'm willing to be stretched. I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing because I know I'm worth it. Because if I've done the work all this time for being laid off from corporate America, darn near lost everything to be where I'm at right now in the 3.5 years to experience all the things that I'm experiencing, this year alone, I wasn't a podcaster and I wasn't on radio and I did not have 2 best-selling books. I wasn't speaking and having as many interviews as I have so far in 2016. 2017, my calendar is already being booked. So you got to be intentional with what you expected God to do, because God is waiting on you. But we're too afraid to stay in that box and limit ourselves. So if we allow ourselves to be limited, we can't get mad at nobody else but ourselves, because we have to make that decision. And it's going to hurt. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to hurt. So you got to be willing to shift your mindset so you can be able to say, you know what, I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to be able to understand this right here. I may not understand it right now, but I'm willing to understand it because I know it makes sense, but I need to get to this point so I can be able to explain it to the next person. And that's where my Shifting Your Mindset ebook came out. I didn't know I was writing that ebook. But so many people kept coming to me like, dang, your thinking is so different. I'm like, wait a minute, do people not think like me? And I said, oh, wow. You know what I mean? And so I just gave them a little snippet about me. I wrote that bad boy in like a weekend's time, put it out there, never self-published, nothing before. But that bad boy was bestseller in a couple of hours.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? You just got to be, even though I've never done it before. Why? I was in the best of corporate America, but I know it was a need to help other people to understand there is a process of shifting your mindset, and let me give you a little bit of what I've done to shift my mindset so I could be able to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. And
that's what I've done. And so that allowed me to be able to grow in a whole nother level. I'm just blown away. But it starts with the mind. I'm huge about that mind. If you don't get your mind in order, you're wasting all of your time.
Yes. Yes, but you will revert back to the things that kept you bound in the first place. So, yes, definitely. Well, I do know that God has definitely given you such a unique perception of life and its circumstances, but it will be used as it is now to continue to motivate people to take control of that mind. Is it safe to say that your message, if I had to kind of sum it up, take control of your mind, you take control of your life?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, one of the things that people is weird because I tell people it blows my mind when I think about the things that I'm at right now. When I decided to just stay and just say forget, I got to embrace my purpose. Because your purpose constantly keeps showing up. I was running from it. I was running. I should have been a size 0 as much as I ran. And so I have to embrace that door of corporate America closed on me for a reason. I didn't understand it, but I had to know that there is more, and I wound up surrendering everything. I just surrendered. I said, forget it. I'm surrendering everything, and go ahead and have your way. And once I make that decision and say, go ahead and have your way, opportunities started coming. I was like, that makes no sense. Because I never done that, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? And so that goes back to your mindset. You need the personal development that you need, and I needed that. And that's how I started out. I started my business in direct sales. I never sold a thing. But in actuality, we sell every day. And so I was like, wait a minute, this is making sense. And so just by doing that, it allowed me to build, to be able to have a successful business and direct them. Then to turn around, I have built my speaking, build my mind coaching program, build, 2 best-selling books, build. You know what I'm saying? I was able to build. Who does that? Who does, you know what I mean? We say in one thing. We have to be able to understand that you got to keep on building, right? And
yes.
So we have to. If there's a building, there's no way you could be able to build a building without no brick and mortar. There's layers to it. So
that's
this
right.
thing called life. That's a process. Are you able to lay some bricks and then the mortar? Then you wait for the next one. You have to, you know what I mean? So once I had to learn that process, I was like, wow, now more opportunities just kept coming to me. And so with that, I would break down and cry. Even when people give me my intro, my bio, I'm like, good Lord, Jesus, I thank you. You know what I mean? I just thank you because I never thought in this short amount of time, in 3.5 years, I accomplished all of these things. I'm just touching the surface. But when I was in corporate America, I was on so many levels. I took so much time away from my family. I don't want to miss out with my grandkids, right? And I was stuck in traffic. I only had 2 days off of free from the slave ship. I'm sorry, that's not what I want. I know there's something better. I need to know better, and I built my business while collecting my unemployment checks with being a 3 teenagers at the time. Nobody cannot tell me that it's not possible. You have to get into your mind that it is possible, and you got to be willing again to do the work to make it possible. Stop listening to the naysayers and get your mind in order. And
yes.
We got to be, it's possible. We're in a land of opportunity. All the craziness that's going on, there's no way that we should be as broke as we are. There's no way. We are broke on so many levels. It's not only spiritually, financially, we broke. We just some broke people that complain. We complain all the time. How are you complaining about something when you're not willing to do your part for fixing it?
Okay. That what she said.
I'm trying to like.
It's right. It's tight, but it's right. That's it. Stop complaining and do what it takes.
Yeah,
and do what it takes to change. All right, I got you.
Absolutely.
Hey.
I'm just. You got to understand that there's going to be some. The devil got to show some type of way, shape, form, or in or fashion. That means you're doing something right. Keep going. Keep going. You know what I mean? And so I knew we're going to have 2 more additional books coming out next year. I said I was writing 1 book, and that's supposed to be Breaking the Cycle of Brokenness, not shifting your mindset. But this is the thing I was going to say. This is how God works. So we always good for making our own decision on how our life's supposed to be laid out. Well, I guess it's time for us to go there because I feel it.
All right.
One of the things that I've learned is that when I have to go through the things that I went through after I was laid off my job, I fell into a space that it was familiar, but I didn't experience it on that type of level. And I was depressed. I was trying to find a way how I could take myself out of here. And I had lost my brother because he was killed. And so when I was sending out messages, I would send messages faithfully out to, it gets so big, inspirational messages. And people kept asking me, can you send more? We haven't seen our messages. But when I lost my brother, I lost all myself. I lost everything because I could not straight. And I was like, wow. And so I will always pray myself out of it. Pray, because prayer works.
Yes, ma'am.
And I turned around and prayed myself out of it. So when that door of corporate America closed shortly after I lost my brother, I had to keep praying. And so one thing I just can't stand it. I want to be free from this, Lord. And I remember in 2015, I was praying to the point I didn't even know I was crying. I was my eyes up, and it was tears. So I was so free because I knew the new year was coming in. But I was like, this is not the life that I had. I didn't understand it. I don't get it. And so what I'm saying is because while you're going through, you have to keep going. You have to keep going, right? And so as I kept going, I made a decision yet again to say, go ahead and start that business. And so I started the business, and since my daughter said, Mom, you always inspire people. People always coming to you about inspiration. You go ahead and it's Inspired by Vanessa. Why are you not calling it Inspired by Vanessa? I said, oh, that makes sense. And I said, well, what does Inspired by Vanessa mean? Inspired by Vanessa means empowerment that speaks to the soul. That's what it means.
Right.
And so when I'm speaking to you, I can speak to your heart all day long, but I want to speak to your soul because I want you to move. And so even though I went through all the things of losing my brother, losing my job, going through deep depression and everything else, God was working it out. And so he worked out my next book that's coming out. He worked out these books that I already have out. He worked out all these things that's in the midst of. He's working out more and more things. Why? I kept going. I kept trusting him. I kept praying to him. I kept trusting in him. I didn't go to anybody else outside of that because we got a bad habit of leaning on everybody else and not leaning on the person who always been there. And so I continued going. When I came back with a vengeance, and my message just kept getting powerful. And so I'm a straight introvert all day long, but I know that I have something that's so positive and so powerful that I need to be able to use this gift, right? And so I use this gift in a way that, empowerment that speaks to the soul. And so I have a mess of a message. Are you willing to share your mess of a message that's going to be able to inspire somebody else, to help them to know and understand that they are not alone in their journey? Are you willing to be able to be broken in order for you to be blessed? That's what I have to do in order for me to be a better mother, a better friend, a better future wife when there's time. Whatever that may be, the better businesswoman. But at the same time, I have to look within myself. I cannot look at all the craziness that I was brought in, talked about. Look, I can't look at all of that. I can't keep looking in the rear mirror expecting me to see my future. I have to be able to understand that there is more, and I'm willing to be able to keep looking forward, stay laser focused, so I can be able to embrace what he said that I'm ready to give you. I've been waiting to give it to you all day long, but I was waiting for you to make a decision. Again, are you willing to shift your mind? Are you willing to do the personal development? Are you willing to surround yourself around people that want to see you win and celebrate your success? Are you willing? But if you want to be around those people that you grew up with that don't want nothing, you're going to have to make some decisions that may be tough. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. No, it means that you love yourself more to be your best.
Yes.
So I make those decisions. My circle is already small, but I remember telling God, reveal and remove who's not supposed to be with me. I don't need these people to be dragging along with me, riding on my coattail, and these are people that don't want nothing but to just be able to drag, not support, but to drag on my coattail. So you got to train going to your wedding, but then that's, you dragging people to the altar with you, and you brought that message to your marriage. I don't want that.
All right.
So make that decision. And so when it was time for me to even write my book that I have out now, I had to write about things that was deep, dark, but it was revealing to be able to heal some things. And so just hearing the testimonies about from people reading that book, I said, wow, look at God. And so are you willing to make a decision and not worry about what other people got to say or what other people think? Because when it's time for you to retire, are they going to put investment into that retirement fund? No. So now you make a decision for you and yours.
Wow. Wow. As you were going on this journey, it's uncertainty, and I've just learned this week that in order, and you can tell me if you agree or not, that if you are going to be who God created you to be, walking in your purpose and eventually get to your destiny, it's almost like living in a constant state of uncertainty because you're constantly doing something that you have never done before. What's your take on that?
There's a saying that if it doesn't scare you, if it does not make you tinkle on yourself, it's not big enough.
Wow.
It's not big enough.
Wow.
When I'm giving you a piece of me in my book, I gave you a piece of me with some dark things that I experienced in my dysfunction. I gave you a piece of me that showed you that I was carrying so much unforgiveness. I carried the pain that left me broken. I carried it, and I had to say, you know what? I have to be bold with it. I have to be honest with it. I have to be authentic. I have to be me, right? And so when I shared it, gave pieces that I could relate to, but at the same time, I see people constantly do. And now there's one thing in there that comes out when I think of this thing here that I'm about to say to you. It's a chapter in my book called Dear You. And Dear You, it came out of the blue. And I keep asking the Lord, okay, all right, now thank you. And Dear You, I was going through something, and I said, he just kept saying, Dear You. And I was like, who is Dear You? I don't know who Dear You is. That doesn't make sense to me. Who is that? But he just kept saying, Dear You, Dear You, Dear You. And then he started telling me everything about Dear You. I said, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Let me write this down, because when he starts, you better listen. And so I'm writing it down, and I turned around, and I was like, oh, my God. I called my sister right away. I said, hold on, wait a minute, listen to this. And she said, whoa, wait, where did this come from? I said, taking it with the Lord? I don't know. And Dear You is everybody have a Dear You, somebody that came into your life who's supposed to be in your life but choose not to be in your life or come back into your life when they see that you're doing amazing things. And now they want to play catch up and want to know all about your life. But they really didn't address the elephant that, wait a minute, you've been not able to really truly been and should have been in my life, but you choose not to be in my life because you feel some type of way, but you lived your life, and now you want to figure out about what's going on in my life so I can be able to get here. Oh, okay. So let me tell you a little bit of what I've done while you've been in my way, just to give you a little catch-up. But then at the end, I flipped it, and I said the main question that you should have been asking me is, do I forgive you? But then I turned around and said, do I forgive you? But I wound up adding some more things in there. It was basically saying that I had to learn that I depended on you when I should have depended on myself. I should have been whole, and thinking that you should have been complete me when I should have been completed long before you. And so a lot of times, you know, when people get into these relationships, they get into this relationship because it's getting cold outside. You get into the relationship because he's lonely. You get into the relationship for all the wrong reasons. You get in a relationship because you haven't healed from the past. You got all this baggage. You keep running to the same knucklehead, and then you turn around and wonder why your life is the way it is right now. And so that's another chapter in my book called Would You Date You? A lot of times, a lot of women don't date themselves. A lot of men don't date themselves. They feel that they got to be with somebody else to complete them when you need to be completed by yourself, and they should be able to enhance that.
Wow.
So, you know, we have to be able to understand that you are something that's great, but you need to get yourself together before you could be able to be with somebody else, because you would never be able to recognize a real, genuine person who wants to be with you, love on you, support you, push you, celebrate you, because you with any and everybody that come into your way, any and everybody that come into your face, smiling in your face, but you can't even figure out which one is real or not. Why? Because you don't even know who you are. I could smell foolishness a mile away.
Yes, honey.
You know what I mean? Because I've done the work on me. I don't have to have you in my face. I don't have to. I have a man just to say. I want a whole man, not a piece of a man. You know what I mean? Yeah. You could piece a man together all day long and be miserable as heck. That's not what I want. I want a whole man, need a whole man, deserve a whole man, because I've done the work on myself. And so oftentimes people don't do that, and they wonder why they in these relationships that end up so toxic. But because he look good on the outside doesn't mean, honey, he's all right on the inside. Same thing for we constantly keep being with somebody else. We turn around and have these babies by the next person because they done told us sweet nothing, and now we find ourselves by ourselves raising these babies. I've been there, so I can talk about it.
Yes.
So I'm giving you a piece of me when I wrote this book, because I've done the work on myself to share with you what I've overcome. That brokenness, and that's called breaking the cycle of brokenness. That was a prayer that I had for my babies, to break the cycle so my babies don't have to feel that pain that I felt when I was growing up. And I never thought that prayer would turn into a book, and now it's a bestseller.
Yes. Wow. Breaking the silence. I just felt the need to breaking the cycle of brokenness. That book. I'm gonna have it on my page, but I just felt the need to put that out there, because if I can just interject for a moment, I'm in awe of everything you say, it's like God has taken the past 6 months worth of shows that I've done, people that I've met, things that I've learned, that I'm learning from, the tools, and it's like today he's summing it all up with Vanessa Canteberry. This is so amazing to me because as we were talking the other day about the coaches, and this I want to tell you, and this, I'm a results-oriented person. If you don't have any results, I'm not going to waste my time, But here you are talking about what you've experienced, and it wasn't that you lucked up on it. You did the work to make it happen. You have the results, and now you have literally made a better life for your children's children. I mean, on down the line, because you took the time to look within Vanessa, correct the things that you could, allow God to help you with those that you couldn't. You did the work, and you made the change. So I commend you for that, and allowing God to use you to inspire others, use your peculiar thinking. The word even talks about that. We're not normal. We're not average. So your thinking is what draws people to you, and actually you lead them to God. And in the midst of all of that, you'll help them take the God-given gifts and talents and create a better life for themselves. So I think that's mega, absolutely mega. Before we end, I want you to just give me about a good minute or so, however long. You don't have to be long, but however long you see. And I want you to talk to the young lady who doesn't think she has a chance, who's been squashed on, left behind, told she's dumb, ugly, stupid, fat, skinny, whatever the case may be. And you know how, people tend to do women and girls. Talk to them. Bring them back to life real quick and set them on that right path so they can find breaking their cycle.
Hurt people hurt other people. And you have to separate yourself from people who are on a mission to hurt other people. Some people are on assignment just to hurt people, period. Everybody has to play their position, and if this is not the way you want to, if that's not the position that you want for yourself, then you need to separate yourself from those people. One of the things that I always say, in order for you to be elevated, you need to do some separation. Be okay with separating. Cut the cord. Just call it a day. It's done. It's a wash. Because if you don't, remember everything that you surround yourself with, everything you put into your head, every time you have somebody speaking into your ear, every time you put anything bad into your body, that's all what you're going to produce. So in order for you to be able to produce something that's going to be positive, that's something that's going to elevate you, something that's going to inspire you, something that's going to inspire the next person, then you need to be able to separate yourself from all that dysfunction. The dysfunction is holding you back. And your dysfunction that's holding you back is only tying you down, binding you up with what the devil wants. And so you have to be able to say, you know what, this is not what you want. You do not belong to it, meaning the devil. You belong to him, who is God. And God created you. And when God created you, he knew that you were something special. He got a bow tie that's on you. He has something, not a target on you in a bad way, but there's a target because he got a driven mission just for you with your name on it. But he needs you to be able to remove yourself and go straight forward, stay laser focused, and go to him and only him and not nothing and nobody else to be able to get the answers to whatever your questions may be. And so when you do that, you don't nobody else no explanation as to why you are on this mission. You just got to go ahead and move in silence and do what you are told to do. There's a voice. Don't be the Matrix. Don't be all over the place where you're not able to hear the silent voice, because everybody hears a voice. Everybody receives a call. No longer would you allow from this day forward to send God to the voicemail, to send him on a three-way call, to send him on a mission to be able to just to try to track you down. Every time he calls you with that silent voice, you make sure that you answer. I don't care if it's in the middle of the night, if it's when you're driving. You stop what you're doing, you answer to him, because you are his child. And with you being his child, he's coming to you. He's not judging you for what you've done or what you said or what you thought, because he already knew that you did all of those things before. you did it. But when you want to give it over to him, he knows your heart. And when he knows your heart, no matter what nobody say, he knows your heart. And that's all that matters. So when you are done and when you answer to him and you've done your mission, you want him to come back to you and say, job well done. So always remember, you want him to give you that final slip of permission to say, job well done. Are you willing to do the job? It may not be physically a 9-to-5 or corporate America clerical matter job. It could be something that's having your own business, traveling the world, speaking to souls, writing books. Are you willing to do those things that he has you want to call it for? Because trust and believe he does. But you got to be willing to answer the call. You got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to separate so you can be elevated. And don't apologize for what he said that you could have. There's a thing called abundance. Embrace it. Own it. Never forget where you came from. But now, as of today, no longer give CPR to bad situations. Move forward and embrace your purpose.
Wow. Man, I feel like I really just stepped into the classroom for real. And I told you I knew that. I felt it already. Ladies, if you are on this line and she has touched your heart, and I know she has in more times than one, I want you to reach out to her. She has something very special. She's not afraid to share it, to use it. She's just going to be very honest and up forth with you, but, you know, things will begin to shift in your life. Vanessa, right now, tell the people how they can contact you, connect with you on social media.
I'm on InspiredByVanessa.com, InspiredByVanessa@gmail.com. I'm all on social media. You'll see me on Twitter at InspiredVanessa, you know, with the characters. You got to cut it short. You can find me on Facebook at InspiredByVanessa. My goodness, yeah. So that's why you can find me, InspiredByVanessa, and even my email. Just don't be afraid to connect with me. I just love to be able to empower other people to let them know that, my goodness, you are not alone in your journey called this thing called life.
Yes. Thank you so much. Again, I thank you for accepting the offer to be on the show. I thank you for I thank God, first of all, for the connection with Dr. Finch, and that led me to Vanessa, so definitely. And I am going to be talking to Dr. Finch probably tomorrow or the next day, and I got to get y'all in here. Y'all haven't heard anything yet. She's just one half of a dynamic team.
Oh, yeah, we're called the dynamic duo.
Yes. So we're going to have the dynamic duo on here. And we have a great rapport with Dr. Finch. It's so funny. When my daughter was going through her things, she had surgery, and she used to have the parties on Friday night. Actually, my children and I would listen, so they know. They know that you say Dr. Finch, they know who you're talking about. So definitely, I know you both are jewels, and God is really going to use you. And as you already know, it's happening fast. It's happening fast because people are in dire need of this. You know, they're tired, they're disgusted, ready to give up, but you two are blazing the trail, giving people what we do here on No More Broken Pieces, hope, help, and healing so that they can take their life back and make a legacy, leave a legacy and not a bill. With that being said, if you don't have anything else that you would like to say, if you do, go ahead. If not, I would be honored if you would pray us out of this podcast tonight.
Oh, wow. Father, we thank you. We thank you for this opportunity to be able to pour into souls and hope that someone recognizes that it's time for them to be able to move forward. Someone is hurting right now. Someone is reaching out to you and to just be open enough to be able to embrace that you do have a calling on your life, and to be open willingly to be able to accept that it's okay for change. It is truly okay for change. Get ready, because when I say God is in the blessing business like no other. I am a living witness of what he could possibly do if you just make a decision. Today is the day to make a decision, to be able to know that it's more within you. It's so much more in you. So, Father, thank you so much for blessing me to be able to give the words to come out of my mouth, to be able to pour into their souls. And I know that this is nothing but you, and I am truly honored and truly blessed to be able to walk into my purpose and into my gift, to be able to just say the words to speak to those souls. Today is the day. Today is the day. Today is the day.
Yeah.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you again, Vanessa. We will be in touch. I will have all of your information and your books on my page. I say it every week. I mean it from my heart. Be encouraged. But most of all, please allow God to make you whole. Have an awesome Sunday, and don't forget to worship.
When I listen to Audible, I'm not flying to my 3rd sales meeting this month. I'm on a romantic date with my vampire boyfriend, Pierre. That pale skin, those dark, mysterious eyes, and those pointy teeth. Take me away, Pierre!
Ma'am?
I want to become queen of the night.
Ma'am, something to drink?
Water, please?
Go to audible.com/start trial, and your first download is free. Audible, stories that surround you.